Would you adapt the session in any way if you're working with a very new startup without an established culture? The principles stay, for me, the principles stay the same whether you're a startup. The method essentially stays the same whether you're a startup or an established business. I think it's even cooler if you're doing it as a startup, because you're gonna capture the real essence and the DNA of the founders and the leaders and the early employees. So I wouldn't adapt it too much, but what I would do is be really deliberate about coming back and revisiting it.
Yeah.
Because a startup changes so quickly and the environment changes and the business changes, the model changes, the customers change, all those things are constantly changing. I know that from our own business, is that I'll be deliberate about coming back to it every 6 months potentially.
Yeah.
And that's actually something I do a lot. There's a question coming up about how do you follow up workshops? And that's something I do a lot with teams anyway. Yeah. So I'd like to, instead of it being fully holistic and going, how should our culture be? How should our environment feel or not feel? I really like to work with teams and break down and set a time frame around it. So with cricket, for example, for those who know cricket, we play cricket in the summer. So there's a real seasonal aspect to it. So at the start of each season, we talk about, as cricket teams and as an organization, we go, what do we want our team environment to feel for the next 6 months? Because that's the cricket season, which gives us permission at the end of the 6 months to come back and look back and review it and then reevaluate it, what it should be for next season. And for me, it's really lovely because it more aligns to human nature in that everything we're organisms that are always evolving and changing based on our environments, based on things that are out of our control, and business changes. And so it becomes a continual thing. There's more moments of conversation. It's not a set and forget. We don't do the traditional thing, which is here's our core values, which are important, but we never really revisit them, and our engagements pour on them anyway. We're constantly coming back to it and reevaluating and go, is this still applicable now, or should it be different? And with the team I've worked with over 4 years, or teams I've worked with over 4 years in this cricket organization, there's been a couple that have stayed the same. Like Proud has always been in there, for instance. That's been cool to see. Feeling proud is really important to both the men's, the women's team, and the organization. But then a few of the other ones have changed based on how the team's grown and how they've developed and the trust and the vulnerability. So you do see a change, and then it's cool to be able to look back and go, how's it changed over the years? So I'll definitely add that into a mechanism to go, let's reevaluate it at this stage, whenever that might be.